Saudi Arabia, a country known for its deep cultural and religious traditions, still enforces strict social rules and laws, especially towards women. While the world continues to progress toward gender equality, Saudi Arabia maintains some bizarre bans and hard-to-believe regulations, particularly for women. From traveling, working, to regulations that seem almost impossible, all these rules paint a picture of a society still deeply tied to tradition and religion. Let's explore 18 incredible laws against women and strange things that only happen in Saudi Arabia in this video, where everything might surprise you and even make you unable to believe my own eyes. Number 18. Women who are harassed may end up in jail when the victim becomes the criminal. One of the most shocking rules in Saudi Arabia is that women can be prosecuted and face severe punishment if they become victims of harassment without a male guardian present. This may sound unbelievable, but it's a reality in the country where women are heavily monitored and controlled in every aspect of their lives. Under Saudi law, women can only do basic things like travel, work, or even visit a doctor if they have permission from a male guardian, whether it's their husband, father, son, or another male relative. This control not only extends throughout their lives, but also severely impacts women's personal freedom, even in dangerous situations where their dignity is at risk. This guardianship system also affects female visitors to Saudi Arabia. Many shops and restaurants have signs that require women to wait outside while men order for them. One tourist was even refused service just because she was a woman, and the shopkeeper asked for a man to replace her. It's not just in everyday activities. Even in banks, women cannot open accounts without their male guardian's consent. These regulations create clear gender discrimination, and despite some reform efforts over the past few decades, they still face strong opposition from conservative religious leaders who defend traditional religious views. The Saudi government is still facing a major challenge in considering changes, despite growing pressure from the international community and human rights organizations. What do you think about this law? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Number 17. Men are banned from selling women's lingerie. Did you know that in Saudi Arabia, men are completely banned from selling women's lingerie? This controversial rule, introduced in 2012, not only left the entire world astonished, but also revealed the unique cultural and conservative social views of the country. The ban was implemented to protect women from the risk of harassment and avoid situations that might be deemed inappropriate when men directly interact with lingerie, which is considered a sensitive product. According to traditional views, interaction between the genders in such private matters is to be minimized in order to maintain moral standards. However, the ban goes beyond moral considerations and has had a significant impact on business in Saudi Arabia. Previously, women felt uncomfortable buying lingerie from male staff, which led many to shop online or have someone else buy for them. After the ban was issued, lingerie stores were required to hire female sales staff, opening up thousands of new job opportunities for women, a rare occurrence in the country. This ban has helped women feel more confident while shopping and increased their presence in the business sector. Many women see this as a small but encouraging step toward gender equality in a country known for its strict laws against women. Number 16. Women are banned from driving. If a woman is caught driving on the streets of Saudi Arabia, she could face a fine ranging from 500 to 900 riyals, about 250 USD. Not only that, but this act is also considered a serious legal violation, placing heavy social pressure on women. This has been one of the most controversial bans in the country, lasting nearly 3 decades. The driving ban was implemented in 1990 with the justification of protecting women and preserving tradition. However, it quickly became a symbol of gender inequality in a conservative Islamic society. During the time the ban was in place, women couldn't drive themselves to work, take care of their families, or move freely. They had to rely on male drivers or family members. Refusing to back down, Saudi women launched several campaigns demanding the right to drive, which gained global attention. Videos of women driving despite the ban spread widely on social media, prompting international pressure on the government. Finally, June 2018 marked a historic turning point. The ban on women driving was officially lifted. However, the journey to the driver's seat for Saudi women is still challenging. Many social prejudices and cultural barriers make women hesitant to drive themselves. In some cases, an international driving license or the accompaniment of a male relative is required in certain situations. Number 15. The women's guardianship system. Imagine living in a country where every step you take must be approved. This is the reality for women in Saudi Arabia, who have long lived under a strict guardianship system. According to Sharia law, any girl or woman needs a male guardian, typically a father, husband, brother, or even an adult son, to approve before they can do most things. It's not just about asking permission to travel or study. Even basic activities like visiting a doctor, going to work, or attending social events require approval from the guardian. This not only limits freedom but also creates significant challenges for Saudi women in terms of personal development and contributing to society. This guardianship system has sparked controversy both domestically and internationally. Supporters of the guardianship law argue that it serves to protect women from potential risks and uphold traditional values. However, critics view it as a symbol of gender inequality, restricting women's freedom and potential. Recently, Saudi Arabia has made small but notable changes. Women now have the right to drive, participate in sports events, and even hold some leadership positions. However, the guardianship system still exists, remaining an invisible yet tangible barrier that women must overcome in their pursuit of true equality. Number 14. Women are not allowed to open the door for guests. Did you know that in Saudi Arabia, simply opening the door to welcome guests is considered forbidden for women? This is not just a simple rule, but a clear example of the strict gender role divisions in this country. According to strict Islamic traditions, women appearing in front of male guests is seen as inappropriate. To maintain this modesty, many homes in Saudi Arabia are specially designed with two separate doors, one for men and one for women. When male guests arrive, they use the designated door and are welcomed only by the host, usually a male. Women in the household, on the other hand, do not appear. If there is something to discuss, they must use the phone or other indirect means of communication. This clearly reflects the limitations on women's social roles, while also emphasizing the strict gender segregation rules in the country. The origins of this rule stem from the belief that women should stay hidden within the family space, focusing on taking care of their husbands and children and avoiding interaction with men outside the family. However, this has caused numerous inconveniences, particularly in situations where direct communication with male guests is needed to handle work or family matters. This strict rule not only sparks curiosity from outsiders, but also brings to light the bigger story of the challenges Saudi Arabian women face in their daily lives. While society is slowly changing with women's rights reforms, such rules still exist as part of the long-standing culture and tradition, highlighting the complexities of balancing modernization with the preservation of traditional values in Saudi Arabia. Number 13. Banning shorts. What may seem like a common fashion item, shorts has become a sensitive topic in Saudi Arabia, where dress codes are seen as symbols of culture and morality. Since September 2019, the regulation on public decency advised men to avoid wearing shorts to maintain a serious and formal image in society. While not an outright ban, the law requires men to dress modestly in public, and the U.S. Department of State even recommends male visitors avoid wearing items like shirts and shorts to align with local customs. Meanwhile, women face much stricter dress codes. They are required to cover their shoulders and knees, especially in crowded areas, although female visitors are now exempt from wearing the traditional abaya, a traditional long cloak, as long as their attire is modest enough not to attract attention. Recent changes show Saudi Arabia's efforts to become more open and adapt to modern times. However, these adjustments remain cautious, with a strong focus on preserving long-standing cultural values. Adhering to these dress codes is not only a sign of respect for the law, but also an indication of integration into the unique culture of this country. Number 12. Trouble from public displays of affection. In Saudi Arabia, where Islam permeates every aspect of life, public displays of affection are not only taboo but can also lead to serious trouble. Just a hug, a light kiss, or even holding hands can violate the strict cultural and moral codes of the country. According to traditional views, showing affection publicly, especially between members of the opposite gender, is seen as a violation of public decency and could make others uncomfortable. This rule applies not only to locals but also to international visitors. The government has implemented specific regulations stating that any act of excessive intimacy in public can be heavily fined, with penalties up to 3,000 riyals, around $800 or even deportation. This rule not only preserves tradition but also aims to maintain harmony in Saudi society. The people of Saudi Arabia believe that keeping public interactions restrained contributes to creating a safe, serious, and respectful living environment. However, this can be a culture shock for many visitors from countries with more liberal views on public affection. If you plan to visit Saudi Arabia, be cautious and respect these rules to avoid unwanted trouble. A simple hand touch could turn into a costly lesson. Number 11. Dancing is forbidden. Imagine a country where dance's symbols of freedom and joy are considered taboo. In Saudi Arabia, dancing, especially movements deemed provocative or excessive, has been officially banned since 2017. This ban was issued by the National Anti-Drug Committee of the Ministry of Interior, arguing that dancing could be linked to the use of stimulants, which would affect societal morality. What's striking is that this ban is not just a vague regulation but has been strictly enforced. One of the most notable cases involved Abdullah Al-Shahani, a popular TV host and actor who was arrested after a video of him dancing in the rain at a music festival in Taif spread on social media. The authorities believed his actions violated strict moral codes. Not stopping there, in 2019, another woman in Riyadh was also accused of corrupting public morals simply for a video showing her dancing at a concert that went viral online. While dancing is a popular and loved activity in many countries, in Saudi Arabia, it stands as a symbol of opposition to traditional values. This ban not only reflects the government's strict control over entertainment activities but also highlights a completely different cultural landscape. Number 10. A man can marry 4 wives. In Saudi Arabia, the idea of a man being allowed to marry 4 wives is not just an ancient story but is recognized and protected by Sharia law, the foundation of Islamic legal principles. However, behind this seemingly special right are strict rules and conditions that not everyone can meet. Sharia law permits a man to have up to 4 wives, but this is not an automatic right. The husband must prove his financial ability to provide for all wives and children, while also committing to treating each wife fairly. This means that each wife must be guaranteed equal rights, from housing and living expenses to time and affection. The history of polygamy in Saudi Arabia stems not only from cultural factors but also as a social solution from hundreds of years ago. Polygamy was used as a way to protect women, maintain family lineage, and even as a population growth strategy. The government in the past even encouraged this practice through financial support and benefits for those wishing to marry multiple times. But the world has changed. In recent years, the Saudi government has started placing restrictions on polygamy. Courts now require men to prove their financial capacity and provide valid reasons if they wish to take additional wives. This has made practicing polygamy much more difficult than it was in the past. Today, while the law still allows it, the number of men actually living with multiple wives in Saudi Arabia is gradually declining. The younger, modern generation of women is no longer easily accepting the idea of sharing marriage, instead seeking equality and respect in their families. This reflects a clear shift in mindset and society in this Islamic nation as traditional practices give way to modern values. Number 9. The unimaginable luxury of the Saudi royal family. The Saudi royal family is one of the wealthiest families in the world, with assets amounting to trillions of dollars, much of it stemming from the massive oil reserves beneath the country. Governed by an absolute monarchy, where the king holds supreme power, the House of Saud not only possesses absolute political authority but also is giant in the global elite. The Saud family has around 15,000 members, but only about 2,000 of them control the majority of the wealth, estimated at $1.4 trillion. This is 16 times the wealth of the British royal family, a prestigious empire with assets of only $88 billion. With this wealth, it is no surprise that the royal family members own lavish palaces, luxurious yachts, and modern private jets. Al-Walid bin Talal Al Saud, one of the wealthiest members of the royal family, has a net worth of nearly $20 billion. King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman are also incredibly powerful, although their official wealth has not been disclosed. Estimates suggest the Crown Prince may possess as much as $25 billion. Not stopping there, the royal family also owns grand constructions like the Al Yamamah Palace, a 372,000 square meters castle with 1,000 rooms, decorated with Italian marble, intricately carved ceilings and walls. Inside, there are luxurious amenities such as a movie theater, a mosque, a bowling alley, and numerous swimming pools. The royal family also possesses a private fleet of aircraft, with a Boeing 747-400 transformed into an airborne palace. The interior of this plane is decorated with lavish carpets and exquisite artworks, making anyone who sees it marvel at its opulence. Number 8. Ban on everything related to Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, a romantic holiday with red roses and sweet chocolates, where people exchange loving words, seems like a foreign concept in Saudi Arabia. The government of this country has imposed a strict ban on all activities and symbols associated with Valentine's Day, surprising many when they learn that the holiday has no place in this Islamic society. Why? The Saudi government believes that Valentine's Day is not only a commercial holiday but also contradicts the spiritual and moral values of Islam. This holiday focuses on romantic and private, intimate aspects which they deem inappropriate for the traditional and moral principles of the country. As a result, the ban was imposed, preventing the sale of red roses, heart-shaped chocolates, or any decorations related to February 14th. Not only that, but using Valentine's symbols on social media can also lead to severe punishment. However, despite the strict ban, there is still a demand to celebrate Valentine's Day among some segments of the population, leading to a Valentine's black market, where people secretly buy and sell these products. This is one of the clear examples of strict moral and cultural regulations in Saudi Arabia, where traditional values are prioritized despite the allure of Western holidays. Number 7. 60% of the workforce are foreign workers. Saudi Arabia, the wealthiest country in the Middle East with endless oil resources, is not only known for its prosperity but also for a lesser-known fact: over 60% of the workforce here are foreign workers. This is a surprising number, as most of the manual labor force comes from countries such as India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and the Philippines. They are the main workforce of industries such as construction, services, and manufacturing, contributing greatly to the country's economic face. While Saudi Arabia is known for its wealth and its riches concentrated among a small segment of the local population, the reality shows a stark income disparity. Saudi citizens enjoy a high standard of living and generally avoid manual labor, leaving these jobs to migrant workers who work for low wages but are the backbone of the nation's economy. However, not everyone has an easy life in Saudi Arabia. Foreign workers face many hardships, from harsh living conditions, discrimination, to loneliness away from their homeland. But there is no denying that they have contributed greatly to the rapid development of one of the wealthiest nations in the world. Number 6. Camels: a key role in the economy. Despite the strong development of the modern economy, camels still hold a legendary status and are an indispensable part of life in Saudi Arabia. These animals are not only symbolic of the region's culture, but are also a growing business sector. The Riyadh Camel Market, located on the outskirts of Buraidah, is one of the largest camel markets in the world, where hundreds of camels are bought and sold every day. Every morning, the 2 square mile market becomes a bustling trading center, attracting buyers and sellers from all over. About 100 camels change owners every day, and this market continues to grow. Not only were camels once a mode of transport, but they also provide valuable resources such as meat, milk, and leather, contributing significantly to the material life of the people. Camel meat is a favorite dish of both locals and tourists, while camel leather is crafted into exquisite handicrafts. Particularly, Saudi Arabia also hosts camel racing events, a grand sporting spectacle that attracts thousands of participants. The race takes place on a 19-kilometer track as part of the Janadriya National Festival, with over 2,000 camels competing. Camels are not only an integral part of Saudi Arabian culture, but also a huge business, continuing to play an important role in the country's economy. Number 5. The mystery of the land without rivers. A vast country with a mysterious culture, yet no natural rivers flowing through it that is Saudi Arabia. This might make you reconsider the existence of freshwater sources in one of the driest countries in the world. Despite having a long coastline along the Red Sea and the Arabian Gulf, Saudi Arabia lacks great rivers like those in many other countries. Why is this the case? The arid climate and low rainfall have created conditions that are unfavorable for the formation of rivers. The annual rainfall only ranges from 100 to 200 millimeters, mainly falling in the winter and concentrated along the coastal areas. Therefore, creating and maintaining natural rivers here is nearly impossible. However, Saudi Arabia is not short of water due to creative exploitation measures. The country has invested heavily in desalination technologies, turning seawater into a valuable resource. Additionally, groundwater and some seasonal surface water sources such as lakes and wetlands are also crucial in maintaining life and economic development here. With continuous efforts, Saudi Arabia has become a model for efficient and sustainable water use, despite lacking any major rivers. Number 4. Only Muslims are recognized as citizens. One of Saudi Arabia's greatest mysteries is the extremely strict citizenship rule. Only Muslims are recognized as legal citizens. This means that whether you are Christian, Jewish, or Hindu, you will never have the chance to apply for citizenship here, even if you have lived there for a long time or contributed to society. This is not only a legal rule but also reflects the strong Islamic identity that dominates the country's life. Islam is the state religion of Saudi Arabia and is considered essential in maintaining the cultural and social values of the country. The Saudi government believes that limiting citizenship to Muslims is a way to protect its unique religious identity from the influence of other religions. Moreover, this rule causes complications regarding inheritance rights and citizenship status for multi-religious families. Even children born to non-Muslim parents will never be recognized as citizens of Saudi Arabia. A strict religious system, along with such regulations, makes Saudi Arabia a country with unique cultural and legal characteristics that few nations in the world possess. Number 3. The most modern and magnificent airport in the world. King Khalid International Airport in Dammam, Saudi Arabia, is not just an airport, it is a kingdom in the aviation industry. With a massive area of 192,000 acres, around 777 square kilometers, it is the largest airport in the world, surprising anyone who steps foot there with its scale and grandeur. Not only is it a hub for millions of passengers each year, but King Khalid also symbolizes the prosperity and explosive development of the country. The airport is equipped with world-class infrastructure, with 5 terminals, 8 air bridges, and a parking area that can accommodate up to 11,600 vehicles, all designed for maximum convenience for passengers. But what makes King Khalid even more special is the Royal Terminal, reserved for heads of state in the Saudi royal family, with luxurious, top-tier architecture. Even more impressive, King Khalid has the tallest control tower in the world, standing at 250 meters, where advanced radar systems ensure the safety of all flights. The 2 runways, each 4,260 meters long, along with a modern lighting system, are ready to welcome the largest aircraft from around the world in any weather conditions. In addition to serving flights, King Khalid also features a magnificent mosque that can accommodate up to 5,000 worshippers, where passengers and locals can go for prayer. This airport is not only a transit point but also a living testament to Saudi Arabia's strong development, where technology, culture, and greatness converge. Number 2. The largest oil reserves in the world. Saudi Arabia, the mythical land of oil, possesses an enormous underground treasure with endless value. With oil reserves accounting for 17% of the world's proven reserves, this country holds 266.5 billion barrels of oil, enough to shake the global economy. Since the discovery of the Dammam oil field in 1938, the oil industry has become a pillar of Saudi Arabia, changing the country's destiny. What's special is the Ghawar oil field, dubbed the wonder of nature, which contains 75 billion barrels of oil, a staggering amount that is mind-blowing. To put it into perspective, the amount of oil in Ghawar could fill 77 million Olympic-sized swimming pools. These figures not only make Saudi Arabia an oil superpower, but also a key player in the global energy market. However, Saudi Arabia faces an interesting paradox. Drinking water is more expensive than oil. This is because fresh water is extremely rare in the country, and they have to produce or import water through costly desalination processes. Oil is not just a colossal source of income, but also a driving force behind the development of infrastructure and the creation of millions of jobs in Saudi Arabia. With its vast oil reserves and strategic position, the country will continue to play a vital role in the global energy sector for decades to come. Number 1. The 3rd largest military spender in the world. With a massive military expenditure ranking 3rd globally after the US and China, Saudi Arabia is demonstrating its extraordinary financial strength in the defense sector. What is particularly noteworthy is that the country spends up to 8% of its annual GDP on the military, 4 times the global average of around 2%. This isn't just an impressive figure, but also reflects Saudi Arabia's long-term ambitions and strategy to solidify its position on the global map. Why would such a wealthy country as Saudi Arabia invest so heavily in the military? First, with potential security threats arising from regional conflicts and international dangers, maintaining a strong military is seen as a vital measure to protect the country from terrorism and hostile forces. Additionally, Saudi Arabia is vigorously pursuing its dream of becoming a regional superpower while enhancing its national standing on the global stage. Therefore, investing in the military is not only about territorial defense but also about building global influence. High defense spending not only helps the country develop its defense industry and create jobs, but also boosts its military capabilities and ensures regional security. However, aside from the clear benefits, excessive spending on the military also carries risks, particularly when it puts pressure on the state budget and reduces resources for other sectors such as education, healthcare, or social welfare. Moreover, an arms race in the region could lead to tension and escalate conflicts. Thus, we have explored the strange laws and regulations in Saudi Arabia, where what seems impossible becomes a reality. These rules not only astonish but also make us reflect on the cultural, social, and religious differences around the world. What do you think about these laws? Should there be changes in the future? Feel free to share your thoughts below this video. If you're surprised by these unknown facts about Saudi Arabia, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss the next exciting exploration video. Let's continue discovering more fascinating mysteries and truths from around the world. Goodbye and see you again.